comes a time in all of our journeys when we're pushed too far through being with these narcissists, these individuals. There comes a point in time when the empath is pushed too far and they can't take no more, and they do the door slam. Once the door slam is done by an empath and they've realized and they've starting to begin to awaken to the fact of the abuse and the torment that they were put through, and they do this door slam, it's over. There's no turning back. So all of us should be building to this point. You know, we've all been pushed too far, you know, and you need to lay down the law, yeah, and don't allow these narcissists to push you any further. Yeah, there needs to be pushed. Yeah, you don't want to be getting pushed any further, right? But this is what happens, okay? And on the flip side of things, right, the narcissist knew, right, I've seen in my own experience, the narcissist knew that they don't want to push you too far. That's what not a lot of people touch on. They didn't want to know, they didn't want to let you know that they know this. But they know, and they've always known throughout the course of the relationship, that there's certain areas that they tread every day that we was unaware, because they're masquerading through life with this mask. We was unaware of it, that they were treading on these certain areas that are beyond our boundaries, that are beyond our threshold, and we wouldn't allow for this toxic behavior. Had it come to light earlier, we wouldn't have stood for it. So that's why they're very manipulative with the discard or causing a separation between yourselves. They're very manipulative in this area because of this reason. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But they're very manipulative in this area because they're aware that they're treading on these areas, as I just mentioned, and they know it's going against what you stand for. It's against your principles. It's against everything. So this is why when the empath gets the realization of what they've been dealing with, of who they've encountered, when they realize they've encountered the dark side, they've encountered the dark spirits, yeah, and they're pushed beyond the boundaries of their potential and their threshold, they're pushed beyond and exceeding the limitations of that area, yeah, they don't stand for anymore, and they enforce the door slam. Once the door slam is enforced, there's no turning back. Once the empath has enforced the door slam, they've seen behind the veil. They've begun to awoken. This is just the point of the start of them awakening. And as they transform, they begin to transform into an awakened chosen one, because all chosen ones are empaths, right? Initially, you're an empath. You go through life, you haven't got the vision, the complete vision yet. You've got certain areas, you're building your picture, but you haven't got the complete vision. Once you get the complete vision, that's when the empath is pushed too far. They've been pushed way too far, and they transform. And this is what I mentioned in another video about elasticity. A lot of times when people are pushed too far, they can't get back up off the floor. They can't bounce back, you know. But with an empath that will transform into a chosen one, you bounce back. And this is what happens when the empath is pushed way too far. They bounce back with such force, such might. They enforce this door slam. And you know, this is the point. Even if they've discarded you and you've enforced this door slam afterwards, you've got the final say so. You got the final say so. When they try their numerous Hoover attempts, if they have done already, enforce the door slam. If they haven't already done the Hoovers, they're gonna come. The Hoovers will come. In my own situation, there's a lot of reasons why there shouldn't have been a Hoover put in place. Not through my own downfalls, but through the way that it played out with authorities and police involved and stuff like that. They shouldn't contact me. And yet they still contact me, yeah? And when I enforced the door slam, it broke their spirit, yeah? It broke their spirit. And this is what they have to encounter. They have to face the wrath of pushing us too far. We went through this journey, loving, caring, helping them, picking them up out of the dirt, I don't mean literally dirt, but a lot of them weren't in the best place in their lives. And this is the manipulation that they do. They always portray themselves as the victim. They portray themselves as the hurt one. Yeah? And we done our loving, caring duties towards them. But still with us doing that, they were secretly pushing us too far. Treading on those areas that I mentioned that they shouldn't be treading. Pushing those boundaries. Sometimes barefaced pushing boundaries. And showing us a glimmer of what they're about. Showing us a little glint of what they're really about. You know? But mixing it in with some other area, mixing it in with some other things, and it kind of loses its potency, and we kind of don't see through it enough because they're operating behind the veil. The whole thing, the whole show was done behind the veil to you. Yeah, so that's why you can never turn at yourself, right? You've been pushed too far, but don't ever turn your energy inwardly. Don't ever turn it inwardly and start pitying yourself or putting yourself down, you know? Because I know, even if you have done that, this video now and whatever areas you've been learning in, you're eventually going to hit that point when you bounce back. And I've mentioned this before, you always bounce back. So just make sure that from this point onwards, you don't look down at yourself. You don't think it's your fault. Yeah? Enforce that door slam now. Don't look at that social media. That's a form of no contact. Don't look at their stories or whatever it is on the social media things that you follow and all that. Don't do that. That's a form of no contact. It's setting your boundaries. You've been pushed too far. And you take the lead. You take control of the situation now. They know it. Deep in their hearts, they know it. They fear you when they pushed you too far. They fear what you will do to them. They fear what you'll do to them if you catch them around the vicinity again. That's why they hoover from far. Yeah, they don't come and step around your vicinity sometimes. Yeah, a lot of us, they don't even want to show face around us. They don't even want to show face around us because of how disgusting they've become. Because we see behind the veil now. Once you see behind the veil, you see them as pathetic creatures. You don't see them in the same loving way that you saw them before. You see them as devils. That's what you see them as. Yeah? You'll see their skin peeling and that. Their skin's peeling. They're dying. Trust me. Once you've enforced the door slam, you're deading them off. Once they know they can't get back in, you're deading them off. You're finishing them off. They can't get back into your life. You've enforced that. You've had the final say-so. It stands for something. Yes, just like the devaluation that they've done through the course of the relationship, the devaluation, the slander, the backbiting, the smear campaigns, just like all of that stuff that they've done to you, that's why they're making out that what you stand for now doesn't account to anything, doesn't amount to anything. But you've been pushed too far, and that door slam you're enforcing is the final curtain. It's the final curtain. There's nothing, no one can say nothing about that. Nothing's gonna change that. Even this video is just an inkling towards how it actually plays out, how it's actually gonna manifest in your lives. It's just the inkling and a little helping towards that point. But it's gonna happen naturally. I trust God. I trust the universe. Yeah, there's gonna come. We all experience this point in time when we're pushed too far. Yeah, we all experience this at different times. But eventually, when you're pushed too far, you will enforce this. It's gonna happen. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen. So if you're not there yet, it's gonna happen. If you've seen this video now, don't worry, it's gonna happen. Leave it in God's hands. Leave it in the universe's hands. Like, we're so empathetic that we don't even realize it. But once it takes place, we no longer look at them like what they are. We no longer look at them like how we did before, should I say. Yeah? They're a new version. Yeah? We see through the veil. We see what they really are. It's not new, they've always been that, but we see them as a new thing. They're no longer that extension of us. They're no longer that counterpart. Extension of us is a narcissistic term, I shouldn't have said that, but they're no longer part of us. That's what I meant. They're no longer our extended family. They're no longer our person that, if there's an emergency, that the authorities will call up if you have an accident at work or something. They're no longer that person, your point of contact. They're no longer your soulmate. They're no longer that individual. And when you've enforced this door slam, it's game over. The empath does this. The empath is shown as weak. The empath is shown as someone who does not have these traits. This empath is shown as someone, no. The empath can appear in that light because they're loving, caring, kind. But all of us are on a journey when we don't realize that people don't possess the same qualities and traits as us. They masquerade through life with this artificial light. They're hypocrites. They backbite. They devalue. They do smear campaigns. They lie. They cheat. They steal. This is how people are operating on the narcissistic spectrum. So once we get the reality of that, which is why these people were brought in our path, to awaken the empath, to empower the empath, to make us stronger, to make us more resilient, to give us that flair, to give us discernment, to give us our spirit back. They took our soul, they took our spirit, they brought us to our lowest. But through time, and time doesn't heal, but through time we learn how to deal with it. It molds us, it shapes us. It's the universe putting this unique touch on us. It's God putting his stamp. It's shaping us, it's molding us. It's making us become who we are. And eventually you get to that point when you door slam them. There's nothing they could do. You don't want to be in the vicinity with them anymore. You don't want to talk to them no more. You don't want to try and talk to them anymore. You don't even want to be in the same vicinity as them anymore. You think they're dusty. You think they're dusty, dusty, dusty. You wouldn't go near them. You've completely changed your outlook. And this is the point all of us will get to, because trust in God's plan, trust in the universe, trust in something greater than yourselves. Yeah? In the positive that's out there. The light that's out there that overshadows the darkness. Trust in that source. Trust in the main source. Plug into that source and get healing. And eventually you'll get to this point, because it's a beautiful thing when you get to this point. When you get to this point, you say, all right, I went through it. I took a few knocks. Got a little scar on my heart. But I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back stronger than ever. And this is what happens when the empath is pushed too far. So keep bouncing back. Keep on your journey bouncing back, I should say. You're going to get to this point. I'm telling you, I don't know how long it will take, but when you hit this point, it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. Please press the like and the subscribe button. And if you want a one-to-one session, you can find the details in the description box. Thank you for watching. Peace.